Real estate investing for beginners, expectation versus reality. You decide. Let's look at the 15 myths of commercial real estate and how they apply to residential real estate. Myth number 1, you need money or good credit to get started. That is absolutely not true. I have developed a $17 million project with no experience and no money. The fact is, you don't need any money to get started, even in commercial real estate. I had a job, a 6-figure debt, low credit score. Not only did banks not want to look at me, I really didn't know how to get started. I was in such debt, I didn't think it was ever possible. But I just want you to know that the fact of the matter is that I succeeded and buy real estate using other people's money and other people's experience. So I proved the fact, $17 million project with other people's experience and other people's money. Myth number 2, you must already be rich and have lots of money to get financing. When I first started, I had the job. I literally had $10,000 in the bank. My wife was saving money in her 401k, but I did not have a lot of money in the bank, and I was absolutely not rich. The fact is, you don't have to be rich. You have to be coachable. You have to be able to listen to people telling you what to do, but you do not need to have money in the bank to get started in residential or commercial real estate. You have to have the sources, but primarily you need to have your own resourcefulness to tap into those sources. The sources are all there for you to achieve anything you want in life. You could achieve anything that you put your mind to. And this is so key. So don't let either one of these money myths stop you from moving forward. So what is your strategy behind these money myths? You have to have the right mindset. If you're going to let your bank account control your emotions, you're never going to be able to move forward. And that is so key with these first 2 myths. Myth number 3, you must spend time on small deals before you can do a big deal. The fact is, my first deal was a $17 million project. My philosophy was go big or go home. And I actually started and descended down into smaller deals because I realized you can make a lot of profit in smaller deals. My only experience was commercial, so the strategy behind this myth is to be open-minded from the outset and know that you could find a large profitable deal that on one deal you could actually retire. Remember, I had no idea on how to develop a 113-bed assisted living facility. I just kept asking myself the right questions, and I surrounded myself with the right team. And like I told you before, when you surround yourself with people that are better than you, they're going to guide you moving forward to success. And that is the key with myth number 3. Myth number 4, you must have a lot of free time to make more money. That's not true at all. The fact of the matter is, in real estate, you don't get paid for the amount of time you put into the deal. You get paid on the outcome. Let me say that one more time. This is not about working harder and more hours. This is about working smarter. There's some cases where in a few hours we'll wholesale a deal and make $10,000, $20,000 for 2 hours work. That's a pretty good hourly rate, but that's what I want you to understand about this myth that you don't have to work longer hours to make more money. So the key and the strategy behind this is you have to implement more time blocking tools and put more systems in place to be more effective. You have to understand the difference between efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency is doing the right thing. Effectiveness is knowing what to do. And that's the key. Myth number 5, you must be an experienced investor. I had construction experience, book knowledge, and was $60,000 in the hole. I was sitting there going, there had to be a better way. And I just believed in myself. And this was the key. I believed that failure didn't exist. Change your approach. And the strategy behind this is you surround yourself with an experienced team. That's going to dictate how much time you have to do. Think how Henry Ford was. He had a huge company. He didn't know what to do on specific items, but he knew what button to push if he had to talk to someone about law. He knew what button to push if he had to talk to someone about engineering. And that was the whole key in his success. And that's what I want to express to you to follow. Myth number 6, good commercial and residential deals are hard to find. There are so many deals out there. The fact of the matter is you have to have a criteria for the deals you're looking at. And the strategy behind it is educate yourself and understand what criteria you need to bring an investor in. That's how you buy real estate with no money down. As Dolph DeRue details in one of his commercial real estate investing books, there are many ways of finding great commercial real estate deals, and these ways also apply to finding many residential real estate deals. The bottom line is that there are always good investment opportunities available in both commercial and residential real estate. And the strategy behind this is that you have to believe you can find great deals, clearly understand the parameters of a good deal, envision yourself finding a good deal. You can even create a collage that shows great deals. And you start looking at that picture every single day, you're going to end up with a phenomenal and great portfolio. Look at it in the morning. Look at it in the evening. Follow the principles of Think and Grow Rich, and you will fulfill your vision. Myth number 7, you must face a complicated transaction before the numbers are harder or for you to understand. No, this is not math. Learn what the numbers mean. It's not hard. Finish your first deal. This is not calculus. And if the numbers make sense, you move forward. I want you to think about like immigrants that come to the United States. They don't know how to do United States math, but they figure it out. So the strategy behind this is think simple. Figure out the price, the cash to close, what the annual return is, what the long-term yield is, and move forward with that deal. These formulas are online. You can find them. You could ask people to help you. You could look at the quick paper napkin analyzer in Financial Freedom Protocol to look how to figure out, does the deal work? So the strategy behind this is if you're not familiar with the numbers, ask someone to help you so you could take the next step in analyzing a deal to move forward. Myth number 8, if I don't manage residential, then commercial is out of my league for sure. Well, the fact is, commercial real estate and residential, yes, they are two different animals, but a lot of the management processes are complete. You just really have to figure out what you want to do. So unless you're in a close proximity and equipped with the systems and how to manage that property, in most cases, it's much more beneficial for you to go hire someone to manage that property for you. Myth number 9, the majority of income on properties are not advertised. Well, that's true to some extent, but like anything else, similar to a job hunt, there's only a fraction of the jobs advertised. And in this case, there's only a fraction of the properties advertised. So you have to take different approaches. The approach of bandit size won't work for commercial. The approach of bandit signs won't work for commercial real estate, but it'll work for residential. There's other approaches that you can find commercial deals. A lot of it is through networking. You know, it's not necessarily what you know, it's who you know. And that's where you have people out there looking and finding commercial and residential deals for you. In either case, once you establish your criteria, that's the whole key about finding profitable real estate deals. Now, the strategy behind finding deals could also lean towards machine learning and artificial intelligence, and these are things that are taking the industry by storm, and I recommend looking into it, but don't get confused by this myth. Myth number 10, you must take risk or worse, big risks. Nah, not at all. The fact is you won't take any risk except the risk of construction, say for example. If you're doing a fix and flip, yeah, it's risky that your contractor may not finish the job, but buying a piece of real estate where you've calculated the numbers, in my opinion, is a very small risk. If you've done your homework and you bought that property right, you've made your money in the buy. And that is the whole key in what we show you, so don't get confused with this myth. Myth number 11, you must either be part of the elite or born into the ultra family to have connections in City Hall or be in high places in order to succeed in real estate. I used to think exactly that. When I was building skyscrapers in New York City for large developers, I actually thought you had to be born into the family. I grew up in a middle-class family, and I started college with $10 a week stipend. And that led to becoming a millionaire, but at that point, I was like, this isn't going to work. I have to be born into the right family. It took me a long time of hard work before I developed the Bridgewater Assisted Living, a $17 million project with other people's experience and other people's money. So the strategy is you have to take steps that are recommended in my Modern Wealth Building book, because if you have the mindset that you have to be born into the family, it's not going to work. Myth number 12, you must be the white guy in an Armani suit who lives in the city. The fact is, all brothers and sisters are wanted. You don't have to be some bigwig. You don't have to be a male. You don't have to be white. None of that applies. The formula works for everyone. Your race, creed, or color has no bearing on your success in real estate. You can be yourself. You can dress like yourself, and you will still succeed in commercial or residential real estate. Enter an industry that produces millionaires, and you will get that outcome. And it does not require a formal education. It's essentially free to enter into real estate, so you have no excuses. That I'm going to recommend right now that you jump in head first. Myth number 13, you must be older, or I'm too old to start something that big. The fact is, your age has no bearing on real estate investing. I wish to have started when I read the book No Money Down at 18, but I waited 13 years. Oh well, it's never too late, regardless of age. I never heard of a child buying real estate at the age of 11, but it's happening now. If you follow Dan Sullivan, his theory is that he believes he's going to live to 120 years old, which gives you a whole new perspective of life. My first thought was, wow, I could extend my internal deadline. Laugh out loud, right? There are so many advantages in real estate for any age group. So if you are young, you have a lifetime journey. And if you are older, you have to get busy now. Whatever your age, whatever you're doing for a living, it doesn't matter, because if you have a passion, you get started. I was 28 when I made my jump into real estate. Never too young, never too old. And within 10 years, I accomplished amazing things. So the strategy around this myth is just determine where you are, where you want to go, and set up a timeline. I don't know about you, but since I love what I do, I don't see myself retiring for some time. There's always something new to learn. The things you wanted to do one day actually are coming true. It's not waiting for someday it's going to happen. And you create a vehicle so you can pay it forward for the next generation. Myth 14, you must be extremely smart. Well, that's not true, because I failed my PE test 5 times and I created the 6-year plan in college. So brain power has nothing to do with this when you believe in this fact. A healthy brain can answer any question. The challenge with most people is they are not quite sure about the questions to ask, which is why we have advisors. Do you know that you get paid directly proportional to the questions you ask and the problems you solve? This is a fact. Your quality of life is also directly proportional to the questions you ask yourself. As I always tell you, there are a number of resources for almost anything you need to find out. And it's your resourcefulness that's in question, that what makes the difference. So what's the strategy here? Everything you need is within you now. Live in a world of performance. There's a very fine line between action and inaction, and you will achieve the dream of your life. Now let's jump into myth 15. You must have an office or a large staff. Well, today you don't need a staff, you don't need an office. However, to be more effective, you need a team, because you can't do it all yourself. I'm not saying they have to be on your payroll. I don't say that you need to have this great office, but you need to have a community environment. But you can work off a sturdy table and a chair with a laptop and pretty much be on the beach. But in real estate, it's a little more tangible. This is a myth. You just want to be open-minded. Surround yourself with team. Have relationship managers in the areas that you're doing business. And that's your strategy around this myth. I wanted to go through these myths with you today so you can really look at what the expectations are moving forward for a beginner. And I want you to take action. Check me out at kenvanliew.com and make it a great day.